Okay, here we have my wife's Hyosung GT250R. We had to do a few things to modify it to get it to fit her. Most importantly was installing risers in a bar to bring the hand grip up just a little higher than the stock clip-ons. We actually drilled and tapped the steering head, give it a very stock look. In doing that, we raising the bar up about 7 or 8 inches over stock. Actually had to get the cables for a GT250 that are already a little longer, so that's the clutch, throttle, and choke cable. And then for the electronics cables, I actually cut these and spliced in an extra 6 to 7 inches of cable to make sure that they would reach. Also, I had to get new brake cables, and as long as we were doing that, we got some nice stainless steel braided brake lines for her. And because the handlebars are higher, we also had to cut the windshield. Pretty much just cut it straight across with a Dremel tool, and then took a power sander across the edge first with 120 and then 250 grit. And it actually gave a pretty nice edge to it. I was thinking we might have to trim it off, but it actually looks good the way it is. On the stainless steel brake lines, we actually did one main line down from the master cylinder to the right hand caliper, as you can see, and then just kind of hopped a second cable over, did a double banjo bolt and hopped the second one over to the right hand side, or the left hand side, pardon me. I think they look pretty good. And the other thing we had to do to make things fit her is install a lowering link from CC Mechanics. That was just about 75 bucks. Not too bad to install. My bolts were backwards, so I had to take the entire exhaust system off in order to pull the bolts out. When the exhaust is pretty much a pain in the butt on the Hyosung GT250R. Fortunately, we didn't have to modify the stand at all in our lowering. Lowered the rear end with those lowering links by 1 inch, and the front end, you can actually see the mark there at the top. We lowered that just about 1/2 inch. And finally, just so my wife knows that this is not my bike, it's all hers, we got the rear seat embroidered.